Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto, Coffee and MoFi. It's raining at the moment. I currently have the window open, so apologies if you hear some noise, but it's kind of nice, so I thought I'd keep it open. Before we get started, a special thanks to the sponsor for this series, Delta Exchange. If you want to sign up with them, click the link in the description below. Help us out, help the stream out, make a deposit, make a few trades. It helps out a bunch, so... If you haven't gone and watched the previous episode, make sure you go and check that out. Some insane calls posted last week. I think it was on Wednesday. If you are new here and you do want to learn more about the way that I'm trading, click the link in the description below. You can pick up a copy of the strategy there, or go to the start of my YouTube channel and check out some of the YouTube tutorials. And of course my Twitter as well. I post pretty much every single trade I take for free, all on Twitter. So if you want to go and study the charts or DM me, feel free to ask some questions, that's fine. But essentially my entire strategy revolves around one pattern, and that is a sweep that is then followed by a break in structure. So once I see price sweep a certain level, or in this case a group of levels, I then look for price to break above the, in this case, high that was responsible for taking the lows. So in a bullish case, I look for a sweep of lows, and then I look for the high that's responsible for taking those lows. I wait for price to then break up above that level. Once I see that, I then look for the same pattern to form again. Now this is just one part of the strategy. Obviously it does go a little bit deeper. You can't just blindly trade these patterns, but this is just one part. So you can see we swept out all of these lows, broke up above the high, taking out this low, breaking above the high. I went long right here. We were sitting around this high when I posted on Twitter. You can go and check this out as well. I said that we would come down, form the pattern again, and then continue up. And what do you know? Did exactly that. Obviously, the whole market is bullish now, so I'm not really looking for shorts. If I do short, it will just be on the 1 minute time frame. But there are a bunch of bullish charts that I'm going to go through today that still look insane. I think we are only on Monday, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some fuckery during the start of the week and then a continuation. But for now, there is literally no reason to be looking for shorts. In my opinion, even though we are reaching into some highs on most coins, there isn't any obvious distribution. So until we see distribution, we should just think that price is going to continue up. So Sol is obviously one of the coins that I'm looking at for a continuation here. Sweeping out this low, breaking above the highs is the first sign that price is continuing. Also taking out this low here, which is a good sign. Reaching back into this range here, forming the same pattern again, sweeping out this low, breaking above the high, breaking above this high, taking that lower time frame setup there. If we just take a look, obviously we've started to form some support, and at this support is some obvious accumulation. So that's the first sign that we are going to be continuing up. Now, even if we do continue up, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to move towards all-time highs. So what should we be doing? If we're seeing accumulation after a downtrend, we should be marking out the previous areas of distribution. So just like we marked out the accumulation here, we should now go onto the chart and mark the distribution. It's important to mark these levels because if we are accumulating, even if we aren't forming a full reversal, if we're accumulating, the next step would be to revisit previous areas of resistance or previous areas of distribution. So it's important to mark out these areas on the chart. So you can see we swept out this high right here. Where is the most obvious low that took that high? Right down at this swing right here. So this is on the higher time frame. Okay, when you look at this whole down leg here, this is the area at this point that I would think if we are going to continue up, that this would be the area that we retest. Okay, so there's the first area, and this is on the H4, so this would be the daily zone. Doesn't mean I'm looking to enter on the M1 and targeting all the way up here. I'm just saying if I am going to be day trading and I am going to be looking for longs, as long as we keep breaking resistance, then I should be able to take lower time frame positions into this level. So going long on a Monday, closing on a Wednesday, waiting for a pullback, then going long on a Friday and closing on a Sunday. You know what I mean? Until we reach up into this level. So Sol is bullish on the lower time frames. Where could we catch an entry? So if we are in an uptrend, there's two things that you need to do. You need to go to the previous leg and mark out the areas of distribution like this. And then you also need to go into the current leg and mark out the areas of support and the areas of accumulation. So that's what we've done just here. Inside of this leg, this was where the accumulation started. Therefore, if we are going to continue up, theoretically, we should see a retest of this level at some point. Then once we do, we should then see more accumulation. If this level does break, however, and then we see distribution, that is the first sign that the buyers that were interested in this leg are no longer interested, and that in fact they're starting to let go of their positions. But we are in an uptrend, so looking at this level here, looking for some accumulation. If we don't get the accumulation there, then looking down all the way at the start of the leg, but I think that's where we get it. Why do I think that we will retrace here into this level? Because this is the zone where previous distribution started. So taking out this high, breaking below the low, revisiting the range, taking out this high, breaking below the low. So you can see we've reached into this area now. This was my final target for the long. I'm fully out of my long positions. Now it makes sense because we're revisiting the distribution that we'll start to retrace and hopefully reaccumulate. I'm trying not to overcomplicate this for you, but this is kind of my thought process, right? All I'm doing is going into the market, looking for previous areas of accumulation. If price is going to continue its current trend, then we should revisit those areas, reaccumulate, and continue up. When we continue up, where should I target? Previous areas of distribution or areas where liquidity may reside, like equal highs or key highs, like this one right here. So that's it for Sol. Bitcoin breaking up above these highs would also be an ideal time for a pullback, and especially because it's Monday. There's not really, one thing that does have me worried though is that in this leg here, there's not really any obvious accumulation. So either we get something like this and we form some accumulation in this leg here, or if we fail to do that, then take out all of these lows and reaccumulate somewhere in this range here. So either we accumulate here on the lower time frames and see another leg up. If we fail to do that, then some lower time frame distribution, take out these lows and reaccumulate here. Obviously, if you take a look at the daily and the weekly, we are bullish. There's not, like I said, there's not really any reason to be looking for shorts just yet until we start to break some structure and distribute, but I'm not looking for shorts right now. Like I've said in the previous episodes for the last few weeks though, really since halfway through February, it's best to just look for longs at these lows because we are accumulating. You can see taking out this low, breaking above the high, revisiting, taking out this low, breaking above the high. So we fall below these equal lows and we accumulate. That's an obvious sign that we are going to continue up. And I don't know if you guys remember, but even all the way back here in December, I was calling for a move below these lows followed by accumulation. You can go and check the YouTube videos from then, you can go and check Twitter. Really, this is just textbook. Once we broke below these lows, you had everyone calling for a head and shoulders, right? And the idea wasn't to predict an up move after taking these lows, but the idea was to wait and see if we got the accumulation below these lows. And look, we got the accumulation, people started to step in. I think we head up. And in all honesty, I think we're going for all-time highs next. It wouldn't surprise me if we head to 72 to 75k over the next 2 or 3 months. What else am I looking at? ICX still looks insane. I'm still holding this position. I called this in the Easy and Easy Out group chat. So when you buy the strategy, you get access to a group where I post all of my calls and stuff. So this one was really simple. Taking out this low, breaking above the high, moving below this low, then reaccumulating. So taking out this low, breaking above the high, this low, this high. And then the same pattern again here on the lower time frames. And this was my entry. Still holding on to this. Honestly, I think I might cut some here just because it's fucking ridiculous holding on to a trade this big. Like every probably 20 or 30 minutes I'm checking this thing, and you know, if I was a swing trader, it would make sense for me to hold it, but it's just not worth the stress, right? So not just closing for no reason. So if you take a look through this leg, there's no obvious distribution. Through this leg, there's no obvious distribution. But if you come over to here, taking out this high, breaking below the low, taking out this high. So when we break below this low here, if we get a solid, like let's say an hourly close below this level, then I'll look to take some off. And to be honest, I think it's still going to continue up, but at this point I'm really looking for reasons to just exit the trade and take profit. I think SHIB and Doge are going to be one of the best buys that you could make over the next couple of days. So this thing looks just fucking insane, man. Like I've been saying this for a few days now on Twitter when we were all the way back here, but I think this thing is getting prepped for an insane move to the upside. If you just look at it, same goes with Doge. But here are my entries. So sweeping out this high, sweeping out this low, breaking above the high, sweeping out this low, breaking above the high. There's no trigger yet, but once we reach into this zone here or this zone here, if we see some lower time frame accumulation, so something like this, then I'll look to enter. If we do get a pattern like this, I will enter sizable positions or compound sizable positions. I'm still in from around this zone. If we get that, I'll enter some decent positions, taking some off here, and then letting the rest ride for a daily trend. I think it should be quite easy to hold on to this. I wouldn't be surprised with how volatile the market's getting that if this move ends up being quite fast. Where's SNX? This is another good one that I posted last week. Really fucking solid trade. Like, it's very rare that things end up being this clean. Taking out these lows here, breaking above the high, revisiting this range, taking out this low, breaking above the high. My entry was around $3.90, and you can go check the Twitter post as well, all posted live for everyone. Looking at around $6.50. Once we do get there, I'll look to cut the majority of my position. If we do get some distribution, then I will look to long at previous areas of accumulation once and if we retrace. I'm really trying not to fucking ramble on here. But honestly, I hope all of these videos help you guys. Like, I've spent years and years developing a process that is actually actionable. So it's not a bunch of indicators on the chart, a bunch of random moving averages. I know I'm not saying it's impossible to use all of those things, but I'm saying a lot of this stuff that when you go onto the internet and you try to learn how to trade, I guess, a lot of the stuff that people put out is so kind of subjective. And even though there is a lot of subjectivity in this, it's not to the same degree, in my opinion. Alright, so I think I'm going to cut that there. I'm bullish on everything, looking for lower time frame retracements. Bitcoin does have me feeling a little bit iffy. Breaking above these equal highs and having no obvious accumulation in this leg leads me to believe we might actually break below here. But if we do get some lower time frame accumulation on the M1, then I'll look to take a scalp. Everything is looking pretty good, not gonna lie. For all the people paying attention to the drama, not last week but the week before, about the indicator, I do have a few 2,000 to 3,000 trade example data sets that I'm going to release, and that'll include the drawdown and everything, as if you were taking every single position that the indicator prints. And honestly, it's fucking insane. Like, the irony about this whole situation is that it should be worth much more than 4K, and I'll be proving that all to you in the next few days. It's going to be fucking hilarious. No worries, guys. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, subscribe. Leave some suggestions in the comment section. Tell me what kind of tutorials you would like to see or whatever. No worries, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.